If I'm not overthinking, if I'm not dreaming, you're not listening. You are asleep, and I keep talking off the monologue, and I keep talking off the monologue, and I keep talking off the monologue, and I keep talking off the monologue.
Hey guys, it's Editor Erin here. I would like to say, before this episode of the podcast starts, I would like to say, I may sound robotic in bits, or they may just be silence and me going, like looking off camera. That's because I've got a new setup. Usually, it's my wall with them posters, but it's me by the door, so I am on the end of my desk. So there was no room for my laptop. So my laptop was literally on my speaker. So it was a bit far away from me. I do say that in the episode. I do say, look, my laptop is far away from me. So what I have written down to say, I can't see half the time. But this episode is meaning well. It was trying to get a message across to say on why sports shapes identity, but I'm just very robotic because I generally can't see what I'm trying to say, and I just wrote in massive bulk paragraphs when writing the script. But I hope you all enjoy, and let's get to the intro. Welcome to Off the Monologue. I'm your host, the Welsh kid from the block. Though, if you're family or friends, you'll know me as Erin. This episode I think is very important to talk about, but I also believe many people will agree with me on this one. Sorry, I had to look at my watch then, notifications. And that's sports you play shape your identity. So I'll be talking to you guys on how sports can shape your identity. Sports shapes a person's identity in many different ways, because at the end of the day, the sports they play make people who they are, right? As to many people, if they look at me, they either think, or even if they look at anything, right, they'll automatically think, oh my god, rugby, Formula 1. As you can see behind me, I've got Ospreys, I've got rugby tickets behind me, my WRU thing, coat. So, I'm quite sporty, or even NFL maybe. For example, back in comp, or for you Americans, high school, all the boys knew I played rugby or liked rugby, so all they can talk about with me is rugby. Also, I just want to clear up. I know I'm in a new background, but it's still in my room, but also my laptop's to the right of me, so I am going to look off screen a bit, so sorry about that, because as we all know, I do look at my laptop in each episode, but hey-oh. And as you can see though, rugby has shaped who I am as a person. I don't think I would be who I am today if it wasn't for rugby, because it has changed me in many ways. And for many people, if you ask them, what do you describing everything in one word. It may be sporty, it may be rugby. You know, it can come very different ways. Sport shapes identity to the point it gives you a community that you can be a part of and feel like you have somewhere you belong and somewhere you felt like you've been there your whole life. And that's what sports does for many people. If you didn't know that, now you do. From me, you didn't hear it from me, guys, I promise. Sports also shapes people's identities to where it reflects their cultural values. Sports also shapes many identities by providing a framework of Perspection. Yes. Sports can also be an insightful lens through cultural identity. Sorry, I'm messing this all up. Let's try that again. Sports can also be an insightful lens through which cultural identity is expressed, celebrated, and reinforced. Did you know that, guys? My dogs are going off. Brilliant! Thank you, Molly and Bo. For example, some of these includes rugby in New Zealand. I've lost where I am. Cricket in India, baseball in Japan, football in Brazil, and ice hockey in Canada. Many of these sports are a part of cultural identity, as identities, and some associate with their identity and can be a tradition to watch or play with family that all links back into your identity. Sorry for all these pauses, my laptop is so far away, it's bugging me, but I'm bored of that background, wanted a new one, so we gotta deal with it. I might, for the next episode, bring my laptop closer to me. I think that's what we're gonna do. Bring it closer to me. Right, let's get back on topic 2 on why sports shapes your identity, shall we? Sports has more importance to someone's identity than many people like to think. Sports are one of the many things that shape and build someone, as many sports teaches you how to work as a team, be independent, and have time management skills. That's really in the way, innit? These things you need in the real life world, but also help you to be you. Now, I want to change things up a bit, right? Usually, it's me talking to you guys, talking to the camera, and every 7 episodes, I'll have a co-host or interview, which we've only had one co-host because that was on episode 7. We're only now on episode 9, so it isn't going to have a co-host yet. But here's the thing, right? We don't want just me rambling on about how sports shapes your identity. So I thought I've reached out to friends and family and asked those who play sports to tell their story and how sports has shaped their identity, so you can have a better idea and perspective on how sports has shaped their identity and who they are today.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm 17 years old and I play rugby. I've been around rugby since I was very young, as my dad plays. And to be honest, he's not just my dad when he's on that pitch or I'm on the pitch. He's my biggest inspiration, the one I look up to, and my biggest cheerleader and my number 1 fan. Rugby didn't just become a sport I played, it became a big part of who I am. and is part of my day-to-day life. I first got into rugby when I was younger, and at the time I didn't fully understand what I was getting into. I just knew it looked intense, physical and different from any other sport that I've tried. I remember feeling a mix of excitement and nerves on my first training session and definitely my first game. Especially stepping out onto the pitch for the first time, not really knowing what to expect. But pretty quickly I realised rugby wasn't about making the big tackles or scoring the tries. It was about the mindset, discipline and being part of something bigger than yourself. One of the biggest things rugby taught me is discipline. Training isn't always easy. It's always early mornings, tough sessions, pushing your body to the limit when you don't feel like it. There are days when you're tired and unmotivated, but you still show up for yourself and for your team. Over time, that builds a habit. It's not just about a rugby game anymore. That same discipline starts to show up in other parts of your life, like school, work, or personal goals. You've learned that progress comes from consistency, not just motivation. Another major impact rugby had on me is resilience. Rugby is a tough sport, physically and mentally. You lose games, you make mistakes, and sometimes you get knocked down, literally. But one thing it teaches you very quickly is how to get back up. You don't stay down and you don't dwell on mistakes for too long, because the game keeps moving, the day keeps going, and you are playing. That mindset sticks with you. It teaches you that setbacks aren't the end, they are part of the process, and it makes you a better player. Something else that really shaped my identity is the sense of teamwork and belonging. Rugby isn't a sport you can play alone. Every single player has a role to play on the pitch, and you have to trust the people around you. You learn how to communicate with each other, support each other on and off the pitch, and put the team before yourself. Being part of a team like that gives you a strong sense of belonging, like you're a part of something that matters. That feeling is hard to replace. There was one moment that really stands out to me. It was during a tough match where everything seemed to be going wrong. We were behind, people were frustrated, and it would have been easy to give up. But instead, we kept pushing through. We kept pushing through, everyone put in the extra effort, communicating more, supporting each other, refusing to switch off, even though it was difficult. That moment showed me what rugby is really about. It's not just about winning, it's about the character, effort, and sticking together when it matters the most. Because of rugby, I've become more confident in myself. It helps me understand my role in a team and trust my abilities. It's also shaped the way I approach challenges instead of avoiding difficult situations. I'm more likely to face them head on. That mindset, being tough, staying focused and not backing down is something I carry with me every single day, and I'm proud. Looking at who I am now, a lot of that comes from rugby. The discipline, the resilience, the teamwork. Those aren't just the things I use on the pitch. They're part of my personality. They influence how I think, how I act, and how I deal with challenges in my life. At the end of the day, rugby is more than just a sport to me. It's something that shaped my identity in a real way. It's taught me that who you are isn't built in easy moments. It's built when things get tough, when you have to push through, and when you choose not to give up. And that's something I'll carry with me long after the game is over. So if you want to try rugby, go do it. Nothing's stopping you. It's not scary. You just gotta overcome the fear of going to your first training session, meeting new people and making new friends. But rugby have shaped who I am. It's brought out my personality, my confidence, and I am myself and who I am.
Hi, I'm Tom Ebo and I play wheelchair rugby for the Dragons. How did I get into my sport? I heard about it through a person called Ian Coombs 7 years ago, and I've been playing it ever since. Wheelchair rugby has shaped my identity a lot, really. It's helped my confidence and my social skills by a mile. How have I changed since doing wheelchair rugby? Massively, honestly. I found a photo of myself just earlier from 3 years ago, and I'm like, damn, that guy was fat. And I'm like, compared to me now, I'm like how I look now. I'm like, okay, that just shows me how much wheelchair rugby has developed me over these couple of years. It's improved my fitness, massively helped my mental health, massively. I was very depressed and insecure with my image and also my disability at that point. And then when the wheelchair came in, it showed me that being disabled does not stop your life. It gives you a purpose to live for. I know that's from my experiences, but confidence, it's massively helped my confidence so much. I've also, as I said earlier, I met new people, new friends, and I've found myself being part of an amazing community that wheelchair rugby provides. The main challenge for me is fitness, like going to a gym. I go to the gym several times a week because of just to keep strong and like to build muscle for tournaments. Diet is another one. Diet is honestly it is very challenging really for me, but since doing wheelchair rugby, I've cut off all like sugary treats. I've also cut down my alcohol intake, juices, crisps, sweets, etc. And I've been very careful on why. If I've done really good work at the gym, I would kind of treat myself on like a Saturday. But if not, it's very hard to it's very easy to backtrack on yourself. But yeah, that is one of the major things that has been a challenge since joining wheelchair rugby. The rules of wheelchair rugby are very hard to study. I'm still learning a bit of it now after 7 years. But yeah, because I play as a picker, so basically like a defender, basically. And so what you do, you put your pick between tackle chair, and you just block them to make sure that the ball carrier goes through. But it does take time to learn. You can't just go go in and go straight into it. There are instances I know of people in my team who can do that, but it does take time if you're a bit like me, who's needs time to learn these things over years. And as I'm saying this, I'm still learning because right now I spent 7 years learning as a defensive guy, but now it's been turned up on my head, and right now I'm playing as an attacker, which is honestly fun, but also challenging, learning all that new tactics and to make sure it sticks in my brain going into a tournament. It is absolutely a physical and demanding game. We usually play for half an hour a game, and you are non-stop. Every second counts. We pass the ball to our teammates in the wheelchair, and I know some people don't have one person doesn't have a leg. I know people think it's all just a body. It's not. It's also about some of the lower body too, because it's all about weight. If you're a bit over a bit high, the better not weight enough, it will help you move quicker. But the heavier you are, you have to put more effort in the arms to move yourself, especially because I've played against some GB talent and people who play national team for the national, and they are absolutely jacked. And that, I'm not over exaggerating, they are jacked. There's a guy who I've played a couple of times now called Bruce. He played for the Ospreys, and he was formerly from the army. There's a lot of people who are from army people there. It takes me a lot of strength just to pick him. I do a good job, but it is. I usually can last for a minute tops, and then he can use his jacked muscles to get out of them, but it is a struggle. But it is a very fun but challenging physical sport. Ooh, what kind of young advice would I give to younger people now? One, don't be afraid if you walk into a training room where there's basically a lot of old people younger than you. Yeah, because when I joined, I walked into people who was like in their late 50s, and I'm like, oh, am I in a care home or something? But honestly, it is a new environment. You do feel a bit like an outsider, but when you keep going and you like give it time, you feel like you found your place. You've got like a second family. That's how I believe. But just give it a go, because honestly, my goal is also to get more young people into the sport, because there's not many younger people in the sport at the moment, like especially in the Wales district. But it is fun. It gives it gives you a new purpose in life. You meet new people, new friends, and you're part of a community of people from like England, Japan, New Zealand, Wales, of course. But you have this kind of shared experience of being part of something and making it grow into what is today, which is wheelchair rugby.
Rugby and motorsport has shaped my life, probably for the better, I would say. Being brought up in a rugby-based family, it was quite easy to go down the route of either playing rugby or doing something in rugby, at least, because my great-grandfather played rugby union and rugby league, and my grandpa also played for his local rugby union side. And then I've been at my local rugby club, Ebbw Vale RFC, which is the hat I'm wearing right now, for around 10 years. So I started in 2016 as a mascot, and I've fed players, I've given out programs, I've stood on the gate and scanned season tickets, to now where I'm writing their match reports and interviewing their players. My first ever interview was Evan Lloyd, the fly half, who was really, really nice and was, I would say, one of my favourite interviews, because he was so down to earth and stuff like that. And then motorsport has shaped my life, probably because I've watched it growing up, and it's something that's like a big thing apart from rugby in my household. Me, my mum, my dad and my dog will sit down, we'll watch the F1 races, and then sometimes as well if F2 and F3 are on, or for instance Euro Cup 3 or Italian F4, Spanish F4 are on, or F1 Academy is on, then I will sit down and watch that, because I absolutely love that. But also as well, I've recently got into sim racing and started watching that. So yeah, I feel like both rugby and motorsport has shaped my life in ways I never thought it would. But also as well, I feel like being at my local rugby club longer than watching motorsport is kind of shows the type of person I am. Like, I'm very involved with sports. Like, I'm very lucky that my grandpa on my dad's side of the family takes me my dad to the 100 cricket little series that the Welsh Fire compete in Sophia Gardens in Cardiff. So I'm lucky to go to that nearly every year. But also as well spend time with my family, sitting down watching these sports, being down my local rugby club and having fun and putting a smile on my face. So I feel like that's like the sort of thing that really made me like open my eyes and think, wow, motorsport and rugby has shaped my life for the better. And hopefully it will continue to do that, and hopefully I will be able to get a job in either rugby union, rugby league, or motorsports, whether that's Formula E, Formula 2, Formula 3, sim racing, either like interviewing drivers or sim drivers or presenting maybe. It's one of them things that I really like to do and sort of get myself involved in, because it's a really high-end in sport and it's really very down to earth. It helps me realise as well what I like, what I don't like, and what I need to improve on as well with my interviewing skills, especially in rugby. So yeah, rugby and motorsport has shaped my life, probably for the better, I would say. Being brought up in a rugby-based family, it was quite easy to go down the route of either playing rugby or doing something in rugby at least, because my great-grandfather played rugby union and rugby league, and my grandpa also played for his local rugby union side. And then I've been at my local rugby club, Ebbvale RFC, which
All these stories are really touching and heartwarming. As we can see, sports have shaped these individuals' identities in many different ways. And every individual has gained something from it. The one story we haven't heard from is me, the host, Yvonne. Me personally, sports have shaped my identity in many different ways, from rugby to Formula 1, but if I didn't play rugby, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I've made so many friends through rugby, right? And if I didn't play rugby, I wouldn't be friends with these girls today. And I don't know what I would do without them. So I'm really grateful for what rugby has done. And as well, for me, rugby has made me more independent, has taught me that you need to trust the process. Trust. Definitely with getting injured over and over again, you need to trust the process, let it heal, learn from medical professionals, and just trust the process. But also, rugby has made me think to trust people. Trust your teammates, trust people around you, work in a team. It has really taught me how I can work in a team. It has showed me that I don't have to do everything on my own. It also has taught me how to be a better person, and it's given me a better outlook on things, if you will. So that's what rugby has taught me. And it also has made me to the point I want to make the girls I play with, family and friends I've made through rugby, I want to make them proud and prouder each day. So right now, my team, even though I'm injured, I still love them. They've got through to the finals of the plate, and they're going to be playing in the Rodney Parade on May the 2nd. So if you want to come down to support the local rugby, please do. It's the women's finals, under 18s, Bells first, the Chargers. So please feel free to come and watch if you're free, of course. It's 1:30, I want to say. Yeah. So come down if you want to watch. And I feel like many other people all around the world in sport probably feel the exact same way as I do in that paragraph. I could not be bothered to read out that full paragraph. Or maybe they have had a completely different story, and that is okay, guys, right? It's okay to have a different experience from someone else. Don't feel like you have to feel the exact same way as maybe Lily in his story, Tom in his, or even Alex and hers. Everyone has a different experience on how sports shapes their identity. With everyone's stories, don't feel ashamed that yours isn't like them. Because if it was like the ones you did, we would all be very boring. We'll all be very robotic, you know? We do not want to be robotic humans and all be the same. So we all will have different experiences. You watching this, who does sports, you're going to have a completely different story to the next person who's watching this, or us who have told our stories. Now, I want to know, do you think sports shapes people's identities? So here are some facts to actually make you think, does it actually shape people's identity? Sports shaping identity is often referred to as athletic identity. Sports shaping identity often serves as a core life project. Sports shaping identity can have a positive impact for many different people. It can also help people with national pride for athletes, definitely when they can represent their country in the World Cup or Olympics. Many people who play sports that can shape their identity feel like people can only see them for the sport they play. And this makes them feel like they are what more than the sport they play, which is really true. Everyone is more than the sport they play and who they are. But this is I know you hardly see me, and this is short, but it really gives you an idea, a perspective on how sports can shape your identity. I hope you all have learnt something from this, like I did when I was researching. Hearing Lily's, Tom's and Alex's stories were very interesting. Definitely because I was like, I know what more. Tom, sort of, more of just media perspective, I know Tom. Alex, I know massively because we're quite close. Same with Lily. Me and Lily have made friends through rugby because we played with each other. Well, we haven't played with each other. We were on the same team and then I got injured in pre-season. But hearing their stories has made me think, wow, it's so different from my story and who I am and how it shaped my identity. It really showed me that everyone has different stories to tell when it comes to sports, and it's wow. But I do want to say a massive thank you to Lily, Tom and Alex, because it was really hard to find people who would tell their stories. So thank you to them, because this episode wouldn't have been able to get made without them. And that's why it took so long for this episode to come out, because I posted episode 8 3 weeks ago of filming this. And I'm sorry about that, but I really wanted to get these stories and have different people tell their stories, so you're not just hearing me, you can hear other people. And I think it has made an impact. I hope it has made an impact on you, and you can see that your identity is shaped in so many different ways, more than many people would like to admit. But this has been Off the Monologue. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm knocking everything over, man.
If I'm not